As I may stand up with the vision, caught daylight, caught daylight, within a rise there lies a scissor.
It might be over soon.
Greg, it's Bon Iver.
Bone of ear.
B-O-N. Bon Iver.
Bone of ear.
Hey guys, we're talking Legion, Season 2, Episode 4, Chapter 12.
Now, before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button where we got you covered for a bunch of new Infinity War videos on the channel and TV breakdowns on Season 2 of Westworld. Let's start off with this reaction from Legion himself, Dan Stevens, who actually says this might be his favorite episode. Yeah, so this episode is pretty damn great.
Yeah, I think we both agree with Dan Stevens. Probably one of the strongest episodes, at least of the second season, and it was a nice change of pace from what we've come to see of Legion as of late. It was all about character development of Sid and her origin story. Now, this episode was directed by Ellen Cross, who is a first-time Legion director, but she's a longtime cinematographer, and she's probably most known for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is a great film we both enjoyed. Very fitting that she's doing this show because it deals with memories and how they intersect in a relationship between two people. It's like spot on. You couldn't find a better director for this type of episode. So yeah, we're used to seeing Sid playing a cat, which was great and all. We loved it. But now we get a much deeper dive into her as a character.
Yeah.
Last week, we saw Patanomy and Melanie as David was stuck in their mazes. We got a little bit of insight into their background, but not much. It was kind of surface level. So this was a very welcomed addition to this season to get a real deep dive in a character that we care about.
With that said, when it comes to Sid, and we got this huge deep dive into her character, I wonder, are they setting us up for something in the future? Is she gonna die? Or I hope not. I hope this is just giving us another character to look forward to in the show.
Yeah, I think that it's twofold, right? This happens in order to prepare David for what's going to happen. This relationship has to come to this point, and they have to make these revelations that they do in order to prepare him for this war. They're at war with something. The future does not look good for them, so bad things probably are on the horizon for her and everyone else that we care about.
I can't imagine they would kill her off, but there's little things here. And then
well, we know that she might lose her arm, but we don't know if she'll die. But yeah, the future does not look bright for anyone that we really care about in this show.
No one, not even David.
Destroy it.
I will.
No, you won't.
I promise. Just tell me where it is. I won't let anything bad happen.
It already has.
Okay, let's jump through a few things right now. Division 3,
Yep.
Outside of Sid's mind. First, right at the top, the monk is dead. There's nothing else going on. He jumped off that thing. He's now dead.
Yeah.
And everyone woke up.
We just woke up. Yeah, you and everybody else. They found the monk on the sidewalk, dead. And then all the missing woke up, 300 angry people who all need to use the bathroom at the same time. It looks like he went off the roof, the monk, which could mean that he caused the plague, infected people wherever he went. Now that he's gone...
Off the roof, how did he...
That's unclear. I gotta... What about David?
And Sid?
And the last tidbit we got out of this that might be very important is that David was not in Sid's maze from the monk, exactly.
Right, so the monk's dead, jumped off the building. So what David is going through with Sid is not the same maze that he went through with Patanomy and Melanie.
Wait, what is happening? I thought we were in the maze, that the monk...
Again.
But what they're stuck in is like a reimagining, a loop of her memories over and over and over again, because she needs David to learn something, a valuable lesson that he cannot otherwise learn. So they're stuck in her memories over and over again until he gets this right. To prepare him for this big battle that's gonna come down the road here.
I love you, okay? And there is nothing you can show me that is gonna scare me away. So, can we go home now?
Try again.
And in that maze, David thinks that, oh, this is about love. It's gotta be, right? It
Right,
has to
true
be
love.
True love.
Yeah.
No. It's actually about her resilience.
Yes.
And to fight through all the bad shit in your life to get to a point where you're ready for battle in the future.
Because only that makes you strong enough to take on whatever challenge you see down the road, right? I think we both enjoyed Ellen Karas's direction here with the memories and reliving over and over again what Sid has gone through.
That
I mean,
igloo.
starting off in the igloo
Yeah.
with the little cellophane flame right there, and she's dressed in like furs, like suggesting like early mankind, and that's like how she enters the world. That
Birth.
symbolizes
That's birth, yeah.
birth. Another fun little touch with Sid's birth scene and the whole montage there. It reminded me of David's from the first season.
And I kept looking in the background, seeing if, is the Shadow King here? Is that
Yeah.
toy gonna roll over just like it did in season 1? He may still be in there. I gotta look at that again. It's so cool.
Even the framing of her as a child in her crib, and the overhead in the bed when her mom is laying with her. The isolation that she
sad.
must
It's
feel. Yeah,
heartbreaking.
the loneliness and isolation she must feel was really captured here, remarkably done.
Great
job.
mise en scène. Yeah, she's treated like an outcast since birth. She's looking for any kind of intimacy out there in the world.
Right.
Or at least that's how they paint it to you, first off.
And you can imagine, like, it would drive you crazy that you literally couldn't even touch, like, hug anyone that you is the closest people to you in your life.
Just the
I mean,
gloves.
there are a couple moments where she literally grabs her mom's friend's coats
Puts them on,
and
tries
puts them
the
on
clothes.
just to feel what it would be like to like be close to someone else. And it's just got to be a very lonely and isolating feeling for especially a teenager with mutant powers to go through. So you can imagine how hurt she's been.
The word survivor used to mean one who has survived. But now modern psychiatry would have us believe that survival is a curse, like Sisyphus with his rock. And so every day, we wake to survive again.
Shout out to Lily Rabe. We know her so well from American Horror Story. I don't know if she's going to get more dialogue or any scenes in this season, but I hope she does. She's really great at what's given to her.
She does a really good job, like as a conflicted mother
Yeah.
with her child that is going through all this, has a mutant power like this, but kind of trying to be intimate and loving, but also knows to keep distance. And I think she did a really good job.
Bring her back.
So as a child and a teenager, she spends most of her time in art museums and reading books and not really around anyone else besides her mom. And remember, they can't even get that super close to each other either, physically at least. One of the books she reads is The Ring of Brightest Angels Around Heaven. And David quotes this later.
Junkies and masochists and hookers and those who have squandered everything are the ring of brightest angels around heaven.
And that artwork you see hanging in the museum, that's done by Egon Schiele.
Now, the significance with Schiele's work hanging in the museum, obviously it had a ton of influence in Bill Sienkiewicz's, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but he's the co-creator and artist of Legion comic books, and it had a lot of inspiration in how he designed Legion for the book. So a pretty cool little shout out
That's
in the
awesome.
background of the museum throughout this episode.
God, I love this show.
Yes.
And you get this neat dance sequence where they're in the mosh pit and they're slowly, she's changing back and forth between different people. That was pretty cool too. I'm just shocked that nobody else was like passing out every time she would bump into somebody.
Right, I think it was like a different type of like interpretation of the power, or it represented her kind of just the turbulent years of her teenage years and her wanting to just
This angst.
feel everything.
Now, there are two scenes in general with Sid that give some monstrous detail into her background.
Yes.
One has to be with the girls and the bullying with the guys at school.
Yep.
Where she actually uses her powers to harm someone.
Yeah, I think it's like the first time we see her using her powers with
Yes.
intent to hurt someone else because of how she was bullied.
You want a kiss?
And then after that one, we got another scene where this one's even deeper into this, where we get a callback to season 1, where now we get all the details
Right.
of that scene in the shower room where she swaps with her mom. Now, you don't think it's malicious intent.
Yeah, so obviously what happened was horrible, and it destroyed everyone's life there. It destroyed her mom's, and her mom's boyfriend. But I don't think, whereas with the teenagers, the bullies at school, there was malicious intent behind that. But she was being bullied and she wanted to fight back. She had enough. I think here it was more of a inquisitive teenager, doesn't know the consequences of your actions, maybe a little pissed off at mom, maybe a little bit weirded out by the boyfriend, but I don't think that she thought through you know, as a teenager, there's a lot of things going on in your life, hormones, questioning, you know, who you are as a person. But I don't think that she realized the consequences of such a grotesque act would do if they body swapped.
Yes, but they have that scene right before it where he gives her the wink.
Right.
And you can say there's a little intent there from that and how her mom was acting to her towards that scene, which was basically she didn't care about her at that scene.
Right. I know. I totally agree with you. You know, maybe she felt neglected. She obviously already feels like an outcast and isolated sometimes. And then to have even the closest person in her life kind of just brush her to the side for this other man's attention, she's a little bit pissed off. I don't know. I'm kind of halfway thinking that it was just, you know, as a teenager, we all do things without thinking about what really may happen down the road. So I didn't think there was malicious intent behind it. Regardless, the bottom line is that it ruined her life, her mom's life, and her mom's boyfriend's life, who then went to prison for obviously raping a 15-year-old girl, or however old she was at the time. So finally, David, after seeing all these memories, after reliving all of this stuff that Sid has gone through, he gets a better idea of no, it's not about love, it's not about finding your true love. It's literally about the pain that one goes through that makes you stronger. The when you're hurt, if you've sinned, if you've been hurt, if you've been in dark places, if you've tried to you know, hurt your own self, you know, that creates an armor and it strengthens you to kind of take on anything you can down the road. So he learns a vital lesson that Sid was trying to get across to him the entire time.
And it reminds me of my all-time favorite movie, Roadhouse.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
So each and every week, Legion has an exceptional soundtrack, but
Yes.
this episode was, bar none, I think, maybe the best use of music. Everything about this the audio and visuals were perfect to me. And I especially love the ending with Burning Down the House, which is a cover from Noah Hawley and Jeff Russo.
Noah Hawley does it all. It's amazing. Yeah. Awesome little cover there. And they also did Cream's White Room earlier in the episode. Across the board, though, the soundtrack was awesome. Bon Iver?
Bon Iver.
Bon Iver started off in the childhood scenes, you know, her growing up, but also dealing with isolationism and being an outcast kind of. Then like the National for like the punk rock and mosh pits and going crazy when she was in her turbulent teenage years. It was just filled with
Tame
perfect.
Impala.
It was filled with perfect music cues throughout different moments of someone's life. Yeah. So we can't say enough of how good it was.
Okay, let's go into favorite moments now. What do you got?
Mine's not like literally one moment, but I loved how for the first 40 minutes or 35 minutes of this episode, it was like
Vignette.
its own little vignette. And it wasn't even like part of the episode. And then later on, much later on, it then says FX presents in association with Marvel, Legion. Like the episode just started. I was like, wait, what's going on? Did I miss something?
I wonder how many people like hit their remote and were like, wait, how much is left in this episode?
Exactly. I actually did that. I'm one of those people.
I would have
was just
loved
blown
it
away.
going.
It felt like all this stuff was like, oh guys, this is like a little background story, a whole separate show. And now actually Legion is starting. And then it ends with an awesome cliffhanger. I love that. I loved how they did that.
Now, you can't put in FX Presents in the next episode. In chapter 13, you gotta have it.
We already had it.
We had it. No. So that's it. You gotta keep going. And
I'm actually interested to see how they handle this next episode.
I wanna see it too, because don't put it in there again. My favorite moment has to be Sid's monologue at the end.
God loves the sinners best because our fire burns bright, bright, bright. Burn with me.
The sinner's fire burns bright. Burn with me. Come on. Where am I going with this? Come on.
One chance out between two worlds. Fire, walk with me.
All right, let's talk about final thoughts, questions, theories, anything we got. What's up?
I love how meta this show gets at times. You know, there's a character in the show, Sid, telling David to watch it again. And we're sitting here literally watching it again, rewatching it. Yeah. Like, not only are the characters going through this, but we as an audience are going through this as well, because this show is so packed with so much stuff to just pick apart. It's never ending. So
I think this episode is going to be very important when we look back the future of this season. There's a lot going on here that you have to go back and dig deep into. Again, okay, the monk's dead now, so what's going on?
I mean, all that concern about the chatter, about the catalyst, I mean, was it ever really a big threat, or was it always just a distraction, or what was it? Like,
there's got to be more.
Obviously, there's a bigger bad down the road. The Shadow King is involved. You know,
David?
Something horrible happens, and yes, David might be the reason why this horrible act happens. But the chatter and all that catalyst talk and all the delusion going through people's heads and, you know, crawling into Ptolemy's ear and all that kind of stuff, it seems like it was kind of just like a little distraction to just like move the story along.
I think that Minotaur is a bigger deal than we know yet.
And how about that awesome cliffhanger of an ending, or was it a beginning of chapter 13? Who the hell knows? Looks like Lenny got her physical body back. The Shadow King granted her wishes, and she's at Division 3. And if I remember correctly, I think you told me that Lenny wouldn't be back.
I don't recall saying anything like that. Lenny's not going anywhere. Lenny's staying right there in the astral plane.
Dude, you gotta help me.
Hey man, alternative facts. That you have yours and I have mine. That's
Really?
how it is.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's felt real to me for a very long time.
Perhaps the idea of life is obscene. Maybe not obscene, but irrelevant.
Why are you really here?
I'm going to kill you, you know.
The end of the world is coming, Daddy. We don't got a lot of time.